How's it going, everybody? My name's Eric, and in this video we're going to replace the thumbstick on the left Joy-Con on our Nintendo Switch. Maybe your Joy-Con is having drift, or the actual physical thumbstick rubber part is destroyed and it's just plastic underneath and you want to replace it. This is the video for you. I'm going to walk you through step by step taking the joystick apart with minimal amounts of screws and ribbon cables, putting the new Joy-Con replacement thumbstick in, putting it all back together, and I'm more than confident that this video should be able to help. Anytime working on electronics, ask a friend or a family member that is a little bit more tech savvy to help, or you can always send these into Nintendo to have them repaired. However, it's a lot faster and it's pretty inexpensive to do it yourself. I do have a link to the kit that I used from Amazon in the description, and if you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up. If you have any questions at any time, throw them in the comment section. And if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing, and let's get into the tutorial. So you're going to take your Y screwdriver and you're going to turn your Joy-Con over. And there's 4 screws that are the Y bit. If you don't have the Y bit screwdriver, you could end up stripping the screws, which makes the job a lot more difficult. So make sure that you are using the correct tool. You're just going to stick your screwdriver in and then turn counterclockwise and get out all 4 screws. Once those 4 screws are out, you should be able to separate the Joy-Con. You're going to rotate on the connection side, so we're going to pull it off a little bit and then we're going to rotate that way. And you want to do that because if you try pulling it the other way, you could damage these cables. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to move the battery and you want to get a finger underneath it. There's a little bit of adhesive. You could pry it up with your finger or you could use a toothpick, and you're going to pull it out and you're just going to place it to the side like that. You can disconnect it, but you do risk damaging the connector if you don't do it correctly. Then there's 3 more screws that we have to get out. 1, 2, 3, and those are Phillips head screws. And then you just get them out by turning them counterclockwise as well. Then you're going to pull this little battery tray up and out to the right. This also has a ribbon cable connected to it, so you want to be careful. You can get away with doing this without disconnecting it and just moving it to the side. You are going to have to remove this ribbon cable right here, and you're also going to have to remove the actual Joy-Con ribbon cable. This ribbon cable is blocking a screw that we're going to have to get out that's anchoring the Joy-Con to the plastic shell. So in order to get the ribbon cable out, you need to pry up a little tiny lever switch, and then that allows you to remove the ribbon cable itself. You can push on the ribbon cable that direction and it will lift up like that. That will give you access now to this screw. You can pull that out of the way. Now we have access to this Phillips head screw. We're just going to turn that counterclockwise, put the screw to the side, take out the other screw counterclockwise, put that to the side as well. Now to get out this ribbon cable, you're gonna have to lift right here. There's a little black plastic tab, and then you should be able to grab the Joy-Con and pull it out like that. Now you're going to grab your replacement Joy-Con, slide it in, and drop it right into that hole. You're gonna have to lift up and out of the way this ribbon cable. And then I find it best to mount the Joy-Con in as soon as possible. That'll keep it from shifting. So we're going to lift up our plastic casing. And we're just going to put in our 2 screws like this. You're turning these clockwise now to tighten them. More than likely, you will mess up your L button. I'll show you how to put the L button back in before we put it back together. There's a ton of grime in here. I accidentally knocked out the L button, and I'm gonna clean that grime with some isopropyl alcohol on a Q-tip. While we're in here, we might as well clean it up because it's really nasty. Okay, we got that cleaned up a little bit. Now we're going to reconnect this ribbon cable right here. So you're going to want to make sure that that is still in the upwards position. So you're going to grab the end of the connector and direct it into the little ribbon cable acceptor on the circuit board. Once you dive it into there, you're going to grab one of your screwdrivers and you're going to put a pressure that you can walk it in. There's two little tabs on the back of the ribbon cable, and once you walk it in, you can flip that little tab down, and that should secure that ribbon cable into place. The gray tab gets flipped towards the ribbon cable, and then the ribbon cable that is the actual Joy-Con gets flipped away from the ribbon cable. It's a little bit different. I find it easier to put a little tool underneath it and then grab it with your finger and then start to guide it into where it needs to go. Once you get it started like that, it's pretty easy. You can just put a little bit of downward pressure on it and then grab your tool and pull it towards the connector, and now it's in place. We're gonna flip this little ribbon cable lock down away from the ribbon cable, and then that locks it into place. Now we're gonna reinstall the L button that came off. This is really, really easy. So there's a spring channel right here. You're going to want to install this side first over here, and then you're going to rest this spring into that channel, and then you're going to kind of pull the button towards you. It hooks into some plastic on the back of the Joy-Con, and it'll hold it into place like that. And it should look like that, and as soon as we get the other half of the Joy-Con on, it'll hold it where it's supposed to be in place. Now we're going to reinstall this little battery case. All you're going to do is grab it, rotate it, place it back where it needs to go. There is a ribbon cable here. You want to make sure that it's threaded underneath and out of the way. The little battery cradle sits back just like that. Now you're going to reinstall the 3 screws that we took out. And the battery goes in just like that. The wire routes this way and goes to this little hole, and then it sits back down on the adhesive. Now you're going to grab the other side of the Joy-Con, lift it, rotate it back in. You need to get it lined up with this part of the case. It should press together very easily, and then you can feel all of your buttons that they do feel normal like they should. Now we're going to reinstall the 4 tri-wing screws that we took out in the beginning. Just put them in and turn them clockwise. Once the Joy-Con is put back together, you can slap it on your Nintendo Switch, and it should work perfectly fine. So much better than this piece of plastic nub or a drifting Joy-Con. If for some reason your Joy-Con is not working, it's possible that you didn't put the ribbon cables in far enough. If you have multiple joysticks that came in your order, try the other one that it came with and it should be good. Reach out to the seller. I'm sure they'll take care of you with a refund, or they'll send you another joystick. If you have any questions or problems, throw them in the comments section. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, subscribe so you don't miss another project, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.